Today's challenge is to make a tooth out of a toothbrush.
I'm not really sure how you open a toothbrush, but I figure the first step is probably to drain the battery. No sound, no vibration. I'm ready to risk it. Step 1. This does not look useful. Step 2. See if I can cut away the rubber and see if it shows me anything underneath. Like skinning a deer. Okay, rubber has been removed, and I still see no way to enter it. Okay, progress. We've taken whatever that is off. I see my first bit of copper. That's exciting. Let me see if I can get this out here. Oh, is the whole thing gonna come out? Beautiful. Just have the plastic shell left here. Don't need that. Here is the toothbrush. Okay. This is held on by a wire. Let's break that. This is the jiggler part of the brush. Jiggle this way right off. Okay, I believe this might be the motor, since it's a bunch of coiled wires. Here it is broken down. Plastic, rubber, plastic, rubber, plastic, rubber. Some steel. I think this might be aluminum, half of it. This half's definitely stainless steel. I think that might be aluminum. I'll check later. These things are all steel. Copper wires with plastic inside. Copper wire. I think this might have some aluminum. And there's the gold. I'll save that for later. Anyway, let's see how much it weighs, shall we? Keep in mind there's plastic inside of these that I will be taking out. That's 11 grams. Adding this pure copper brings us up to 13. That's not very much copper. I think I might have to tear down the charger and wire as well. I've got the base of it here. I don't know if it's just because it's old or if it was always like this, but this black plastic is incredibly fragile. It just breaks like nothing. So I've been trying to get this coil out, and I think I'm just going to squeeze it and crush it all. Make a little bit of a mess, but now I should be able to pull the wire off. Yeah, together. Breaking down the charger was just as, if not more, interesting than the top part. We've got some plastic, 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 another little piece of gold, fancy light bulb, much plastic trash. These wires, actually, they came out of here, but they look like they're aluminum, not copper. I recently learned that that is a thing. It's not going to focus, but they're not copper colored, so I suspect that these also are, as well as this actually. This was that spool of wire. It just doesn't feel like copper. Anyway, I got all of that. I also stripped the cable, which was by far the most boring thing. Hopefully the most boring thing I'll do today. But I got actual copper out of it. Let's see if it was productive. 19 grams. We're sitting at like probably 30 grams here. Oh baby, this tooth is going to be magnificent. So the next step is to melt it down. I have 33 grams of metal from the toothbrush, and we're going to add borax. And about 160 grams of borax. Now I'm going to put it in the furnace and melt it down. Made a little triangle mold to pour it into.
That's it, y'all just go pour it now.
My fire brick looked absolutely toasted. Quite hot in there. I'm feeling the copper stuck to the bottom. Oh shit, I should be wearing a mask. That was close. So that first pour didn't go very well. It was all borax. But the second one was very nice. And after breaking off the borax, I retrieved this little ball of copper. Pretty well cleaned up. It weighs 33 grams. So I only lost 1 gram. And I think most of that is in this real fine layer here at the bottom of the crucible. So either the borax worked, or I didn't need it in the first place. But regardless, I got a good return on the metal that I put in there. It's very coppery, mostly copper. I was hoping for a little more aluminum. It would have given it more of a gold look, just for the traditional golden tooth. But that's alright, we can work with this. Next up, I need to turn this into a tooth. It did spill out. I'll just let that dry real quick. That came out pretty easily. It looks like half a tooth. The other side is stuck in here. So that didn't come out. Here's plan B. I'm going to cut out a big chunk of wax from this candle. It's that's roughly some of the same dimensions. And I'm going to see if I can carve this into a tooth. Forget the wax. I've never been a big fan of the saying work smart, not hard, because a lot of the things that I do are stupid. So the smart thing would be to just not do them at all. But I am doing this. Slightly smarter than I was with the vise. I'm going to use an angle grinder, and sort of like this in ice carving, I'm going to carve up a tooth. We're going to try whacking it to reshape it a little bit. The whacking was pretty successful, I think. This is sideways, so just mentally adjust. This is going to now be the tooth, roots coming down. Back to the angle grinder. Hopefully. This is how we're looking at the moment. It doesn't really look like a tooth, but the more you look at it, the easier it is to convince yourself it's a tooth. So that means it's pretty close. I'm just going to work on adding some contour to it. It's a little too rectangular, but the base is there. Here is the finished tooth. I think it doesn't look too bad. I wanted to get the roots a little bit thinner, but I should have done that with the angle grinder. The file couldn't really cut it. I liked the indents that I could get with the sanding. Specifically how it curves in right where the roots start. I think that's pretty realistic. Anyway, that's a tooth I made from a toothbrush. Challenge complete. Check out my next challenge where I get my dentist to insert it into my jaw.